Hey everybody, and welcome to your Tuesday lighting critique. We were just talking about, so this is Ashley. She's finishing up the lighting on this piece. It's looking good. Everything's feeling good. We're just talking about like compressions in the darks, and how that's like kind of an endless struggle as a lighting artist. You know, you work so hard on this, you render it out, you've got these clean EXRs, you get your final images, and then ultimately you put them into a demo reel, and you have the option there basically of compressing it. And the first thing that gets compressed in your image is the blacks start to get this banding effect because it's just like super, like it's just that there's the values in there are super subtle, and compression squashes that subtlety, and so you get some banding in there. So you're really like Aaron and Ashley and I and Kat were just saying, like, you're kind of stuck with this dilemma of like, are you going to render something out that's a 13 gigabyte file, or are you going to have a compressed image? And I was saying that, like, in demo reels, and this is personal experience, I'm sure there are people that this matters to, but for me, I'm always like, if I'm looking at something on YouTube or Vimeo or on your website, I assume that there's some level of compression. I assume that, like, because like cleaning up banding in the darks, that's not like some major problem that, like, how are we ever going to do this? Like, just render it at a higher quality. So I it doesn't affect me as a problem. Does that make sense? Like, sorry, I'm just trying to recap the conversation we just had. Is that about right, guys?
Yep, that's about right.
Okay, thanks, Kat.
Yes.
All right, so let's hop into the image. So Ashley, I think this is looking really good. The depth of field looks better. The only things, and this is like totally minor stuff, and you can just tell me, Mike, shut up, I'm done with this. I was thinking of things like, as I was looking at it before we started, was, you know, we've got our focus on the character. It looks like the edge of this table might be a little bit sharp in the depth of field. It's just like a little bit sharp there. And then the other one that I was thinking was that I for some reason this time around the mouse caught my eye as being like, it kind of is getting flatly lit by the red screen. Like, it's kind of completely dark here and then just kind of flatly lit. And this is where I think, and this is the only reason why I'm making this note, is because I think it's an easy fix, because the mouse is stationary when the light comes on, I think. Let's see. Yeah, it just kind of stops right there. So what I would do if it was me is I would draw a little roto on the side of the mouse, soften the edge, and then just darken this area, and just to create a little more shaping on the mouse in that one pass, so that when it flashes it. Does that make sense?
Yes, that makes sense.
Yeah,
I can do that.
Cool. Yeah, like I'm trying, because at this point it's like you definitely don't want to re-render this. It's just like these final little tweaks.
Yeah. Like anything in Nuke is at this point.
It's like Mike, we need this by the end of, or, you know, Ashley, we need this by the end of the day. We need you to we're actually going to need to flip the key side to the other side, and you're like, nope, I'm not going to do it. It's just that we can invert the image. That's about all I can do. Does anybody else have any notes on this before we move on? Yeah, this is looking really good. Okay, cool. Let's hop over into our still images for today.
Hi, Mike.
Hello.
How are you?
Good. I'm good. Who is that?
Abhishek.
Hey,
Yes.
Abhishek. Hey, buddy. How you doing? All right.
Hey, doing good.
Good. All right, so we've got 3 submissions. We've got Kat, we've got Clarissa, and Stephanie. Kat, let's talk about yours first. So this is a sconce update.
Yep, because that was the one thing that you said you wanted me to fix was make the sconces brighter, so I did.
Yeah, brighter. Now, yeah, it's the only thing is it's just a little bit less saturated in the yellows. Like, let's just, because I want. Oh, that's not what I want.
You're like,
yeah.
Kale.
That's not that looked like hot garbage. Let me see if I just master it down. Wow, weird. I guess yay, JPEGs in their compression. Okay, if I just like take this and see if I can just make it. Let's just make it brighter for now, and then we'll. This is strange. Guess so. Whatever. Okay, but basically, I want to just. I just want to take
have
something.
It be look like
I want the core of it to be white, like to be a little bit like just pretty much white. I think the brightness is there. I think it's fine. I think Actually, the little bit of glow that I added, it could help as well. But that's and then just make it just a little bit more white. That's really all I have for the sconces.
Okay.
Cool
Beans.
Yeah, man. All right. Let's see. Clarissa is here. Hi, Clarissa. How you doing?
Hey, good. How are you?
Good. Okay. This is one magical looking bunny. I think you did something different with the wings this time. Those look really pretty and almost painterly. They look really cool. Let me just see if they and this is me genuinely. This is genuinely how I check. So I'm looking to see if they might be a little bit too saturated. Just kind of pulling that back just a touch. I tend to do this a lot with my work, with just like doing really rough mock-ups of things and just seeing. I think pulling back, maybe not to the degree that I did, just kind of mix it, but just pulling back on the saturation on those just a touch would be good. Because what I was reacting to was on these edges, the blues are like electric, and so I just want to pull back on that just a touch, and I think that this falls into the color scheme a little bit more. The bunny's looking good. I'm loving the shapes that you're getting on the depth of field. Like the depth of field is looking much better. It's like, because we've got the sharp ones here, and then we start to go blur, and then after we fall back into space, we start to get the bokeh cool shape thing going on. How did you do that?
With the Z defocus in Nuke, there's the blades.
Yes.
And I put like 8 on there or something.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, I think it looks really good. And only note, let's just play it out. I just keep wanting the bunny to be a little bit brighter. I know that's a key thing I keep saying. But I just think that like just like a little bit more. I want the bunny to be like, and this is getting too bright on the edge, but just like the core, like the fill value, the main value on it. I just want it to be a little bit brighter. Just did I cancel it? Just so we can actually, let me do it this way. Let me just expose it up a little bit.
Do you think if she changes the spec value on the fur, it kind of gets you the kind of brighter look that you want?
I honestly think it's a little bit more of an exposure, just kind of overall both diffuse and specular, a little bit. Yeah, just because. I just want this. Maybe that's too much. I just want the bunny to feel like the camera was exposed just for it, and everything else kind of falls where it may. And really, it's about it being, again, because it's a white furred creature with gray values. Like, I just want to make sure that we're not, because like in here, in this area, in the darkers, it's okay because we're getting color bleed into there, and now the shadows are getting more colorful. But up here, when the fur starts to get a little bit more white, oh, weird. My free upgrade is waiting for me. Awesome. That was an aggressive pop-up. Wow. But like as we get up into here and we start to lose some of the saturation as we get further away from it, it just kind of grays out a little bit. So what I'm looking for is to cancel out those gray values in the face. So, in a long way of saying I just want it to be a little brighter. But I think everything else is looking good. Does anybody else have any thoughts on this one? I was wondering too if there shouldn't be more detail in the ears of the bunny. But I think the only detail you'd put in there would be like veins and stuff, and that would just be creepy. So I think keeping it as is a good thing. Because
I have a question about because every time I try to brighten the bunny's head, the gray part of the fur gets kind of washed out, so it doesn't really like maintain the gray color, and I don't know how to brighten it without overexposing the white and keeping the gray.
That's a great question. One thing that you can do, and like some of that is adjusting the like you have two options basically, because that because of the fur is one big fur body, so you don't have the ability to light link one to the other, right? And if you're hitting it with a certain amount of light that makes one patch of fur look good, but the other one look too dark or too bright, really, from my experience, the only option that you can do is to, if you can, create a fur mat for these, where take all the white fur, because it's usually like this is like a painted map that's generating the fur color. Take that same thing into Photoshop and make the white fur bright red, or like pure red, and make the gray fur pure green or something. And that way, and then render it as a matte pass, and then you can just pull the white fur and just pull the gray fur in the composite, and then what you might be able to do is keep the lighting as is, and then just like pull the gamma up a little bit on the whites to make it brighter. And that might be what you want to do, because we always whenever we had Snoopy or Ferdinand was like this. Although he was easier because he was an all black bull, and so we didn't have as many spots. Although his skin did go into his face. Yeah, we did have that. So basically, you always want mats that you can isolate the white and black fur or skin tones of your character, so that you can control them independently in the comp. And that's kind of the only way you can do it. If you can't. With this bunny, I'm not quite sure how it was created. If you don't have the ability to do that, your other option, because it still might just be to draw a roto and brighten and darken from there. But the key is with that is to make sure that when you're rendering it out, that you have a good EX, like that you're rendering it with an EXR file, so you have a full range of pixel values, so that the same way we were just seeing with cats, like that you want like this the brighter edge on this fur to have more variation with it, like, so it doesn't just like clip out to white the way that does in this JPEG. So if I decided to take this and make that darker, what would happen is something like that, where it all just kind of clips out. So does all that make sense? That was a lot of jargon.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's painted first, so I can definitely make a mat like that.
Great. That's like the ideal, and that's honestly the best way to approach it. Cool.
Nice, thank you.
You're very welcome. 70. All right. Let's see 70 here. All right, 70. Okay. So we've got the previous. This might be my favorite AB AB comparison in a long time, just because the eye geometry getting pushed back in his head. It's like just like shifting his eyes around is very funny to me. I don't know why. If I could do this more quickly. Come on, graphics card, keep up. There we go. Anyway, so I want to take a look at this in two parts. I want to look at the background first, and I think the background's looking really good. I just think that the brights can get a little brighter back there. Take this feather off before I forget. Let's do background first. I just think that we can push those brights just a touch brighter back there. Not the one that I wanted to do.
I feel like this little creature should be in a Disney movie singing something, because he just looks so happy.
That's just the axolotl, man. That's them in real life. That's just how they live every day. Yeah. They're very, very cute. My favorite is Jordan here. My favorite was Jordan messaged me one day, like a year after he lit this, or a year or two after we released this challenge, and he was like, "Mike, did you know that axolotls are real?" And I was like, "Yeah, they're real creatures, man. They really exist." But okay, so the background, I thought, compared to where we were, I just think it could just use like a touch brighter, a touch more push. I think the shaping is really good. I love the variation in it. That is one note, and then the only other note that I have is that the lines that are coming down here are a little bit tight. So I honestly, if they're a separate pass, if they're a separate render pass, I would just blur them a little bit. If not, I would soften the gobo map or the map or whatever that you're using to create them. Yeah. Okay. So now for the character itself, I think that the eyes are a lot better. I still like, this is really hard, because I just want, because like the way that Kat reacted to it, right, is what we want. We want this, like, this character to feel maximum cute, because that's just what it is. And one of the things that's throwing us off is this green bounce still underneath. Is it like, it kind of makes it feel less warm. It makes it feel less appealing, I guess. So what I would suggest is for just this next pass, and if it's awful, we can revisit it. I think we should remove, try and get all the green off of it. Now, I don't, if that's happening as a result of the key light coming down and actually creating green bounce on there, the one solution might be to swap out the materials on the objects off camera down here with something like just like a straight Arnold surface shader without much of anything, so it can bounce some more neutral light up onto the character. And then looking at the shaping, I'm wondering if...
Mike?
Yeah.
Real quick, I think you might be looking at the older version, because I'm looking at the new version, and there's not as much green bounce.
Oh, wait. Did I lose it?
At least on my
might
screen.
be. Let me look.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for letting me know. Close this and just reopen.
I was staring at it again because I'm looking at it on my phone, then I looked at it on my computer. I'm like, oh wait,
Yep.
that's not.
Yep,
the
you're
green.
totally right. Stephanie, kindly ignore the last 2 or 3 minutes of my ramblings. You are amazing, and thank you so much. That was the fastest update ever in Academy of Animated Art Critique history. Okay, background can still go to a little bit brighter. Still break those up because I was getting the right background. The foreground I messed up. Okay, yes. I was too busy A-being between the googly eyes. Yes, that already looks better. Cool. Great. I think this eye feels a little bit on the dark side. I think we can continue, like, we pushed it one step more into the pink magenta range. I think we can go even further than that. I think we can push it, and I'm pushing it brighter. It's going to flatten it out on this side, but that's just where we're going. But that's just like what we're doing. As if you increase this in the lighting, there'll be a little bit more subtlety in there. And then if I'm just going to adjust these colors, I just want it to feel a little bit yellow in there. Yeah. I kind of want this character to fall more into this realm. Because I think that here versus here allows it make, because like right now we're just trying to make the character feel a little like clean, crisp, warm, affectionate, and I think just adding that, like getting that pink value to really pop it off would be really good. And then if we can increase, like just making the eyes even more appealing, as it like max appealing as we can, would be great. And it's just brightening up that screen left one, and then probably putting some eye dings in there. Again, I wanna just peek back at. Oh, thank you for. Sorry, Kat. You're right. Peek back on the original winner of this, which I think really does a great job. Again, pink values over a similar background color as what you have, and then the eyes are just really appealing with some nice eye dings in there. And I think that could work out well. One other thing that you could try, although you kind of have it. Never mind. I was to say you can have this, like, I really like the face emerging type of thing, but you kind of have it here. In terms of like what we're seeing across the bridge of the nose, I think like this level feels pretty good. Like it still feels bright without the skin going white. Like it still preserves some of this in there. And then if you want, allowing some of this light that's coming in back behind the character, I would throw a little rim light on the character too, because there's probably some subsurface happening between these. I'll call it the hair, the tendrils of the axolotl's horns. I'm just making up anatomy terms now. Those little things that are dangling off this head. I think you could get some surface on there and it would work really well. But I really, really like this. I think this is looking great. All right, cool. Does anybody else have any thoughts? Any other, anything else before we break for the day? You guys rock. Kat, thank you so much for letting me know. That would have been a waste of time. Because you would have just been like, it would be one of those direct messages that I hate, which is like the, Mike, you forgot to do mine. I'm like, no. Or like, you critiqued the wrong image. Like, great, cool, awesome. Yes, so thank you, Kat. Thank you all for submitting. I know it's hard to submit your work. I know it takes some bravery every day to do this stuff. And so I don't underappreciate that. You guys are amazing. So until tomorrow, I will see you all very soon. All right, happy lighting, everybody.
Take it easy.
Bye.